All right, so apparently there's a thread that's been going around about kids' lunches, and I'm just going to jump into it. I'm tired of people um, position on this. So let's go to the beginning. Bernie Sanders says, "I don't think it's radical to say school children should not have lunch debt. If we can give tax breaks to billionaires, we can guarantee free universal school meals to our kids." Then this guy replies, "School children shouldn't get lunch if they don't pay." Which I absolutely agree with. We'll get there. This guy says, "Why are we charging kids to fucking eat somewhere they're legally required to be in first place? With your stupid ass." Alright, so, I'm not gonna go Google it. You can do that your fucking self. But you're not required to be there. You're not required to be there. You can opt to homeschool. Your parents can do that. They can just keep you at home and school you there. It's That's an option. And even if they're required to be there. You do know that your child has to eat, don't you? You understand this, right? And the last time I checked, uh, there's a thing that you still get that I don't fucking understand, nor agree with, nor like is food stamps. If you're really that poor, you would have that. But even before we get to that, again, I must state, you do know your kid needs to eat, right? You can't afford to feed your kid. Why the fuck did you have it? I'm sick of this idea of it's not the kid's fault. It ain't mine either. It's nobody's fault but the parents, right? So why are we not holding them accountable? We hold everybody else accountable but the people who had a goddamn kid. Seriously, what the fuck is wrong with these folks? Oh, yeah. What's wrong with these people who have kids they can't feed, damn it, and expect everybody else to pick up the tab? Mm, Never even thought about that. Pretty sure you can't hold a worker all day without providing a meal. I'm not required to feed you. I'm not required to fucking feed you. How is a kid supposed to focus in class when their stomach is empty? It's just cruel. Yeah, y'all cruel ass parents sending y'all kids to school without fucking food and lunch money. Cruel ass people. Can't stand you motherfuckers. Do inmates pay for lunch? Oh, all right. So what they're saying is, you mean to tell me you feed a inmate before you feed a child? Well, that's actually a yeah, absolutely. As we know, they do make money off of inmates. And honestly, I always have been a fan of, hey, if you're in jail for like life or some shit like that, I honestly don't see anything wrong with just dumping these niggas off somewhere in the fucking desert. Just drop them and leave them. I don't agree with paying for them. You got me there. You got me there. But again, if I can vote, you want to vote for it? You want to put on the ballot? Say we can't feed prisoners, uh, and since we don't feed children, fuck it, fine. That's a battle you won't win with me, because I'll say yeah, let prisoners die of starvation before I say feed somebody else's kid. I'm just fucked up like that, I guess. Somebody responds, but they actually don't. Even prison ain't even free because they look who they got filling the prisons. You get billed when you get out in 49 states. What? Making somebody go somewhere even if they deserve it, not letting them leave and charge them for resources they used incarcerated. I gotta look into that because I've never heard of that. Wow, I wonder why people who felt financially pressured to commit crimes are likely to commit even more crimes once we fucking cripple them with debt. Alright, this took a turn here. This took a major fucking turn. My mom works in the school system, and there's literally kids who come to school with no money to buy lunch. She used to get into trouble giving kids lunches or something to eat that couldn't afford it or have the money. Now, I don't agree with that. I think if you want to, well, let's think. Let's think. What could possibly happen in a situation where a teacher is giving free lunches? I mean, is she giving them fast food? That might cause some type of situation. It might be looked at as she's giving to her favorite kids, but because she weaponized this, I could understand slightly on why they would say no, you can't do that. But again, without seeing what type, knowing or what type of trouble she get into, I'd go ahead and agree with that she should be able to feed the kids if she wants to. I'd rather see my tax dollars go for free lunches in all public schools across the country than to an already bloated military budget. We have the money, it's just being funneled to the wrong places as usual. Stop shaming and starving kids for being poor. Stop it now. I don't think we're shaming kids. I think we're shaming their parents, which is rightfully so. But yeah, I agree. I don't know what to agree or disagree. I don't know where the fuck the money's going. Honestly, I don't. I just know we have a military budget. I just know we have a welfare budget. I just know we have a fucking state police official budget. I don't really know where all this shit goes though. I don't know who gets like rich and not able to sit at home. I don't know. So, moving on. Big adults are really arguing against feeding children in schools. How cruel can you be? Cruel enough to not, damn it, to not have kids I can't afford. Look, y'all gotta understand where people like me come from. I when you do stuff like this, free lunches for other people's kids, free education for other people's kids, all you enable the problem that's there. You enable the problem that's there. And again, if your response is it ain't the kid's fault, it's not fucking mine either. It is not. You want me to start this debate? Well, reduce my tax percentage, and I'll be okay with it. I'll do that. Don't make me pay for libraries. Don't make me pay for this fucking school system. Don't make me pay for none of this shit. And I'll stay out of this conversation. Y'all can argue back and forth about this all you want. I used to pass out in gym because I didn't have money for breakfast. The nurse told me to just ask my mom to buy granola bars after it kept happening. The stupidity. Oh, it's very stupid to ask your mom to buy granola bars. How cheap are granola bars? That can last, and they sit on your stomach. She's offering the best advice she probably has for people that were in your situation. You want to know what's stupid? Your parents having you when they couldn't afford you. The stupidity. Sorry that happened to you. I'm not. This is why my baby's book bag is loaded with snacks, fruit, salads, juice, water, and he's been known to share. Cool. In New York, every student gets free lunch in public schools. That should be federal law. Why the fuck should this be law? Why the fuck? Why should this be law? Why? Why the fuck should this be law? You know what? The more I hear people talk about free shit, it's almost like they think that it's just literally everybody just chipping in and nobody has to foot a bill or it just happens. Free lunches. Oh, just give it to them. I mean, yeah, it's there. I mean, just give it to them, man. A free healthcare. I mean, just give it to them. It's there. I mean, just give it to them, man. That shit is being paid for. The where I live, a lot of people go to either Sherwood, these big people like schools and shit. They either go to a place called Sherwood Food Distribution, or they go to Gordon Food Service. You think they're not paying? You think they're not charging for this shit? You really think they're just giving this shit away? No, they charge. Sherwood's truck drivers make like 1,100 a week, so they actually have to pay to get the shit just to get the shit to the building. And the same thing goes for Gordon Food Service. I think they make like 22 an hour, and that's not counting the people who have to package it, the people who work in the offices. The people, this shit is not free. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Don't have the kids if you can't afford it. The stupidity. It should be federal law that you are able to afford a kid, support a kid in many ways, including financially, before you fucking have it. It should be federal law for this, right? No, we just worry about after the fact where, you gonna punish the kids? Yeah. Next. My principal argued for us, and everyone who owed money got it. Clear it, and everyone gets free food. They'll send you home with food also if you let them know. I will move the fuck out of that district immediately. I will move the fuck out of that district immediately. We're sending food home. Wait, we're going to not only feed your kid that you have, we got to feed you too? What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Y'all really think this shit is just like, oh, it's great. We really look at... We enable bad decisions. Yes, we do. Oh, God. What's sad is most of that is funded outside or privately. My church funds 3 different programs to provide school food to kids in and out of school. It should be the government's job. What the fuck? Oh, we're coming back to that one. No one should have to even stand up in the first place. Godspeed to your principal. Wait a minute. It should be the government's job to provide food for kids. The government's job should go as far as upholding justice, the court system that's all fucked up, and keeping order. That's it. It should be not involved in marriage unless you sign a contract to ask them. It should not be involved in your reproduction and your children and all that shit. It shouldn't. If you go that route, you should be on your fucking own. It should not be involved in these things. It shouldn't. Because as you see, one big reason that it shouldn't because people become then entitled. My kids should be fed by you, government. Well, what else should your government do for you? What else should they do? Should they make sure you have gas to get back and forth? Because, I mean, you don't want your kid to be stuck at home and not learning shit all day, do you? Because, God forbid, you actually do that. What else should the government do? Should the government pay your bills, your lights, water? Should the government keep all this shit on because, how's your kid going to do homework with no light? And then they're hungry because they don't have food. They should definitely keep food in your house for your kid. I mean, you want your kid to learn, right? What else should the government do for you? Your government should give you universal health care. Because, your kid can't just, you want them to get sick and die? It's not your kid's fault. What else should your government do for you? What else should they do for you? You grown fucker. What should they do for you? Y'all get on my fucking nerves with this shit. Everybody should just be kumbaya and y'all sing. How many of you niggas is out here that feel this way? Is out here divvying up your check after you pay all your shit And getting the bare minimum, by the way. How many of you are taking the bare minimum it takes to live and then taking the rest of that check and standing outside of a school and asking who needs food, who needs shoes, who needs clothes, who needs bills paid? How many of you are actually doing this? No. It's the government's job. I'm still waiting on that Sex Care Act. I'm still waiting on it. I made a video a week ago. I ain't got a blowjob yet. What the fuck is going on? I send my kid to school with lunch every day. She responds. And some people can afford to do that, so the child shouldn't be punished for that. How the fuck is it punishing you? Who's punishing this child? So me not feeding your kid because you can't is punishment? That's punishment? You fucking serious? So other people not feeding your child, damn it, when you can't afford to, is punishment? True, but a lot of people just out here having kids and can't afford it. She says, procreating is not a privilege and should never be one. What? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Whoa, what the fuck? Procreate. Hold on, let me underline this shit. Let me get my Debo Dabble on. Debo Dabble. Move. Procreating is not a privilege. Oh my God. Oh. Oh wow. Wow. So you have a right to just pop out babies and you haven't worked for the ability to do so? I know y'all like to live in fairy tale land, but if you ain't putting no work in to become something, you shouldn't be out here having kids. If you ain't put the work in to be somebody that's financially, emotionally, mentally, because finance is only part of it, right? Right? Y'all know this, right? If you haven't got yourself to a certain level, no, you should not be. You should not have the. Even though you do, in this dumbass, this shit's stupid. You still somehow have the right to make a kid. You got the right to somehow. That's why it's so fucked up. And then we get surprised when we find out people that got their kids living any old kind of way. We really get surprised by that when we feel like, hey, they had the right, right? They had the right, didn't they? People are fucking stupid. For back of a more intelligent phrase, I fucking hate you. The problem is a system pushing people into poverty. It pushed you into poverty. It pushed you into poverty. Okay. All right. Before I go any farther, let me just say this, right? So if I don't have kids, right? So let's say I have them. Let's say when the time was there, and instead of that chick getting that abortion, she wouldn't have that fucking kid, right? The comfortability that I have now, I would not have. I'd be in some sort of poverty, some sort of it. Yeah, I'll probably still be able to give my kid fucking lunch money, but I'd be in some sort of poverty. Did the system put me in there? No. People, if you simply don't have kids when you're poor or when you're not established, you increase your probability of getting out of poverty if you're already there. Why don't people understand this shit? The system is not pushing you into poverty. It's not. I I bet it money if you ask this chick, is she in poverty? She'd tell you no in a second. Well, who's the system pushing in poverty then? Because you look black. You don't know people's circumstances to make any judgment. Even if people have children they can't afford, children shouldn't be starved as punishment. Yeah, they should. Yes, they should. And for the record, before somebody says I'm cruel and evil, I'm not really saying children should be punished. I'm saying yes, they should, because she's hell bent. People like her are hell bent on using phrases like that to make people feel sorry or make them look bad because they don't say yes, give them free shit and enable their parents for making a dumbass decision that they made. That's why I said that. No, I don't think kids should be punished. But I don't think I should be punished either. Damn it. I don't think their parents should be rewarded and let off the hook because they made that decision to have that fucking kid or kids. And saying that you don't know people's circumstances to make any judgment. If you have, let's say we want to do the typical, which I'm really tired of doing, but let's say we do the typical, let you off the hook with one kid because mistakes happen. Let's say we give you that, right? We're not talking about people that have one kid. Typically, people who can't afford to feed their kids, they usually don't stop until they get to about 3 or 4. It's not a house. It's not a poor area where there's a bunch of one single kid parents out there. Not single parent kids, but single kid parents out there. A lot of these people have multiple kids because the whole joke. But not tech. Look, when people are bored, what's one thing they can do? Fuck all that. So these people tend to have several kids. Don't give me the shit about you can't judge. Yeah, you can. You absolutely can. You absolutely can. Procreating may not be a privilege, but within the amount of unfit parents I see, maybe it should be. Yep. Okay, but unfit parents come in all socioeconomic classes. That's totally a separate discussion. Okay, so you want to change it to unfit. We're talking about finances, but you want to change it to just simply unfit. I see you, and I see what you did. Maybe it'll work in this thread, maybe it won't. It wouldn't have worked with me. And the children of unfit parents shouldn't starve because they lost the parental lottery. Oh my God. The parental lottery? The parental lottery? Oh, man. So, no, don't stop poor people or shame poor people for having kids they can't afford. But, like, hey, Junior, you didn't hit the parental lottery. Your parents a piece of shit. But, hey, we're going to take care of you. No, we won't. Fuck them kids. Honestly, this country is so screwed. I can't believe we're even having this conversation. Should we feed hungry kids? Bring on the asteroid. Yeah, I'm down with that. Bring it the fuck on. Let's go. Like, it's so simple. It doesn't matter the circumstance or the reasons why the child has no food. No child should starve and be hungry at school. Then you feed the fucking kid. Then you feed the kid. God damn. Why do people who think like this always want everybody else to do this shit too? No, apparently there's so many of you out there that y'all can come together and kill this yourself. And if you can't, that ought to tell you that we can afford to do this on that level because there's so many irresponsible ass people out there. So stop doing this. Either y'all band together in this technological day and age where y'all can intercept each other on the internet and say, hey, let's start a fund to feed hungry kids. Let's start a fund for universal health care. Let's start a fund to get everybody who's unfortunate on their fucking feet and take care of them. Let's start that account right now. Y'all can do that. Y'all don't need everybody else to do it. Hell, and let's put on the bill, because I know y'all gonna bring that up. Well, we pay taxes already. Let's do this. Let's remove public schools, Left she move housing. Left she move all forms of welfare. Left she move the health care. Left she move all that off the bill. And everybody who wants to can opt in to pay and fund all of this shit. Because if it's that many people who are willing to do this, who want to see people live these good lives that all y'all come on the internet and claim to want, this shouldn't be an issue. How many of y'all ready to do that? Or are y'all going to respond with, that many people, it shouldn't, the fuck out of here. Your kid, your problem. For folks talking about CPS and taking kids away, understand that most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck in or one financial or medical disaster from becoming those people. Your elitism is showing. Elite? Nigga, elite? Bruh, I'm one medical disaster away from being in a shithole. Hell, I am in a shithole. I just like put an umbrella over it and something. Crickets. But, excuse me. Living paycheck to paycheck? You want to know the reason why I don't live paycheck to paycheck? Because I didn't have a fucking kid. I didn't have a kid. I didn't have a kid. So I don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. It's called decisions, people. I don't understand how this is conceptually newfound logical information to people. If you are forcing a kid to be there every day, Monday through Friday, you should be providing meals for them to eat for free. This is a mandatory 8-hour shift without pay and consequences if they don't go. And bingo, nigga, no it's not. No it's not. No it's not. Stop. Damn, I'm not, it's not. Fuck. Are y'all really gonna act like, what the fuck? What the fuck? These are the same people that drop their kids off at their mama house with no diaper bag because they about to go hit the streets. Since we straw manning and shit. Since we coming up with bullshit ass statements like this. These are the same people that do that shit. These are the same people who always got to go shopping or something and need somebody else to come help them watch their fucking kid. These are the same people that when you invite their kids to your kid's birthday party, these are the people that just pull up, open the doors, let their kids out and pull off. These them people. People are going to hate me for this, but they are required to offer students food, but you are not required to eat it. Huh? I don't understand, but what? Is he trying to say that they are required to have food there, but you don't have to eat it because it costs? That's not, dude, sit this one out. That's not their argument. That is not their argument, dude. She responds, well, he didn't say anything about required to eat. He said required to be at, meaning they shouldn't have to pay for food if they have to be at the school by law. Okay, so let's ask this question. If, let's say they weren't required to go to school, right? Let's say they weren't. Are these kids still fortunate enough to have meals every day? Or would y'all then change the conversation to, oh, well, this kid's out there who can't eat, and so what, their parents are poor, we should be willing to feed the kids. I personally think that we have this discussion whether they're in school or not. I don't think this has shit with the requirement to have an education. I don't think that's the case. Let their boss have a mandatory all-day training and not serve or complete their meals. We'll see the devil coming out of them. Then. You know, I'm required to be at my job. Well, to get a paycheck, I guess, but I am required to work for a living, right? So I am required to be there however long they need me to be there. And they're not required to feed me. Even if I just started and I don't have any money, they're not required to do that. excuse me, if you go for training or an internship, they're not required to feed you. So stop comparing this to that shit. Stop. Fucking stop. Children should not be punished for a financial situation they have no control over. How many of these people are the pro-choice people who feel that, because a baby was conceived with rape, it should be aborted? Oh, no child should be a blah, 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 blah. Y'all don't have this. Y'all don't say this shit then. Y'all really don't. Y'all really don't. Some families only have money to have minimum food at home. Don't have that fucking kid. Don't have that kid. For some children, those are the only meals they might get in a day. How is that an argument? How is that an argument? Okay, so all right, let's feed them while they're at school. Remember that post further up in the thread that said they sent food home? How long before that becomes a requirement? And how the fuck, again, do we have the welfare state that we have that is your only meal in that day? Who's squandering their food stamps? Trading them? Who's doing that? Huh? Lunch that shouldn't be something they ever need to worry about. Do their parents know? Do their parents know? I don't understand why people like to put fires out aiming at the top of the fire. I don't understand this. You want there to be less poor kids? Tell poor people don't have them. It's that simple. And if you're one of those black people who are going to come in and say, oh, we'll just let our race die off, you're really going to ignore the other poor races in America? You want to stop poor children. Tell their poor ass parents, don't have them. Don't have them. Don't fucking have them. I see a lot of y'all supposed people who went through the struggle never struggled. Food should be free for kids, for all kids in school. Damn. Why? No, it shouldn't. No, it shouldn't. No, it shouldn't. It was a general statement done towards you, but I agree and feel like people should put themselves in other people's shoes before they go off and say what they do and don't need. Why the fuck do I have to do that? Why do I have to do that? Okay, fine. Listen, again, we're going to put y'all shoes in incel shoes and y'all can just start fucking them, right? Put yourself in an incel's shoes. Now tell me if you are just gonna give a free fuck because you understand now. And the reason I keep bringing up incels is because it's an easy equivalent and grab. Because I like one of the tactics I like is when people make statements and you can easily move that over to a new subject that you know that they don't want or they won't agree with. It's an automatic win. It's an automatic dub. It's almost cheating. It's so easy. Oh, we should just give unfortunate people this because they struggle. Yeah, some people are unfortunately in genetics. Some people are unfortunate in social skills. Some people are unfortunate in I don't know, I guess height, Some people, I mean, some people are, there are millions of ways people are unfortunate. Which one do you don't give a fuck about? So I can abuse the hell out of that. When you start giving a fuck about that, I start giving a fuck about them kids that ain't mine. Why should they even pay for something that doesn't have quality? Okay, well, you don't want, if it ain't quality, why you want them to eat it? You're so dumb. This is so. I want to throw this phone after that statement. I don't understand. People, you can't shit on something and then say you want it at the same time. What the fuck? What the fuck? That is so. Come on, man. If kids are legally required to go to school, then everything about school should be free. They're not required. Every aspect of public school should be funded through a federally mandated progressive tax collected on a statewide level. Don't be purposely obtuse. What the fuck do they mean? Don't be purposely obtuse. I need to read. I need to look up the definition of obtuse because I'm really getting sick of seeing it and not know what the fuck people are talking about. But so is this person saying that a school all the way in Florida should receive funding from the state of Oregon? Is that what they're asking? Because I'm really not understanding how they want this set up. Because if you're no longer going to go with how it is now, which is whatever, I don't know if it's city or a county but they take it locally and fund the schools that way. So I'm trying to figure out what do you mean? I think is that not already how it works, or because you said statewide that in the state of Michigan, all the taxes just be collected and split up to education, and then they just spread out that way. Because that's not going to solve the problem. That's just going to make the problem bigger across the state. The richer states are going to have better education. The poorer states are going to have not so. And then we're going to repeat this process. That doesn't fix the problem. That doesn't fix the problem. That doesn't fix the problem. Do y'all think about this shit before you hit send? That doesn't fix the problem. All right. And right, which means that it's not free. They responded, for the kids from poor families going to public school, their lunches being free seems to be a humane and fair trade-off. What? They're the ones who benefit from a program like Bernie's. For the kids from poor families going to public schools, their lunches being free seem to be a humane and fair trade-off. Trade-off from what? What are you trading off from? I don't understand. What are you trading from? What's the trade here? Are you saying because they have to go to public school and not private school? Or because they have to go to a school that's poorer than richer schools, that free lunch is the trade-off? Okay, so you want to trade quality education for a shitty meal? And I shouldn't use that for this person. I don't think they're the person who said quality, but you're still going to trade quality education for lunch. Okay, all right, niggas. That if I'm the Republican that you're presenting this to, I'm like, all right, niggas, sounds good to me. Here, you have all lunches are free. Them books ain't though, and I ain't gonna say it. They just gonna throw that shit in there. Your kid gonna go to school, you gonna be like, what? Wait a fucking minute. The pencil sharpener we had to pay for, all the it's like, hey, y'all want a free lunch, not free. Y'all didn't say you want free shit else, so hey, there you go, niggas. I don't think children should ever have to go hungry. I'm not against public schools offering free meals. I am. What I am what I am against is the idea that the state should always step in to provide basic sustenance, my bad, which is something that should be a parent's first priority for their children. Exactly. If you can't provide this basic shit, the necessities, stop fucking. Stop. Stop. Stop fucking. This amazes me that we just keep skipping glossing over the fact that people choose to have kids they cannot afford. And we're not talking about one or two parents. No, we're talking about the majority of a school district where kids are just can't afford shit. And if we're talking about one or two kids, are we really going to do this over one or two kids? If it's not that big a deal for one or two kids, why don't you just pay the shit? What the fuck? You got a problem with some shit you can easily solve? And if the parents can't or don't, you want the child to go hungry? Yeah. Yeah. Of course not. But you would think that parents who are poor are already benefiting from some social programs that would enable them to provide lunch for their children. Exactly. The fuck you doing with that bridge card, man? Or sir? What are you doing with that bridge card? What you would think isn't always the reality, I'm afraid. Ain't my fault. Ain't my goddamn fault. Make it make sense. Condoms. You welcome. Wait, don't schools in the US have some sort of free meal program for family with financial struggles? We do, but you have to be severely below the poverty line to qualify for. No, the fuck you don't. No, you don't. You know what? It could have changed recently. I'll retract that. I'll retract that. I'll I'll retract that. Let's keep going. Or at least that's how it was when I grew up, where he retracted it too. I lived in a one income household with a mom who brought home $2,000 a month and they only gave me reduced lunch, where I paid 125 instead of $3. Okay, so you pay 125 over the course of 5 days. That's 625. Okay, yeah, 625. Did I do that math right? Let's take the five singles out. Okay, yeah. So 625. She couldn't afford $7 a week. She couldn't. You talking about $25 a month? Your meal, your lunch budget was $25 a month. Again, if you're this poor, and I don't know what the reply is, let me look at it. Also, there are forms to fill out. A lot of times, especially in smaller communities, the pride is too important to fill out paperwork. The pride in you, the pride, nigga, the pride. How can you, dude? I can't even take this serious. The pride. Oh, my kid ain't gonna eat. I got too much pride. The pride, the pride, really, man. Fuck your pride, dude. Pride over feeding your kids, and I'm supposed to care. All right, this is the last one because I know this is like hella long. I cannot tell you how many school days I had to go without eating unknowingly that my parents couldn't pay for my free lunch. Couldn't pay for your free lunch. Uh, I understand that's just a typo situation, but come on. Sometimes I had to steal from the school snack shop just to get by or teach. or teachers who were nice enough to give me money to eat. I didn't have much at home. Okay. Again, as a taxpayer, how is that my problem? How is that my problem? And why is the food not even edible good 90% of the time? But they're not ready for that conversation though. The food isn't edible, it should be free. It's trash, but we want it. Doesn't that say a lot more about the situation you have? Doesn't that say more about the situation you have? How the fuck that got to do with what that got to do with me? You want shitty food. What the fuck? All right, man. I'm not gonna read no more. All right, but be right, not positive. I'm out.